stay here then.
No.
Okay, I'll lift it up. Just go ahead.
Have to remove the entire engine in order to get the transmission off and replace it. Now we can use the crane.
Daisy.
Prius hybrid, engine and transmission. We're replacing the actual transmission. Pop the hood one more time. And it's on electrical right now, or?
It's on electrical right now. You wanna take it on guard?
Yeah. Toyota Prius. Right now we're in the process of working on this vehicle related to cylinder head issue. This is what came out of the engine. Oil mixed with basically coolant, blown head. And that's antifreeze over there in the other container?
Yeah.
And then where did that come out of, the radiator?
The radiator.
So, this is actually what was inside the actual engine. Obviously it's not oil. It's a mixture of oil and coolant. And that's what's currently going on with this particular vehicle. Get a sample of that, put it in one of those plastic bottles there.
That's a lot. How much you want? A full bottle? Or?
Yeah. What's the common cause for this to happen?
Well, like I was telling you the other day, I know you said this car came in for a transmission problem.
Yeah, initially.
Well, yeah, initially. So what happened was, if he's driving it and the transmission's slipping, what's gonna happen is it's gonna cause the engine to overheat. Even if everything in the engine's running fine, because he's revving that engine so high, it's gonna cause that to either warp or crack a head.
Okay, and that's what ultimately happened.
And that's what ultimately happened is he was driving this thing with a bad transmission. It heated up that engine, which causes this.
Okay.
Whenever you have a transmission problem, if you don't take care of it soon enough, it's going to lead to a blown head gasket.
Okay. In regards to this Prius, we believe about a gallon of coolant ended up into the actual engine over the period of time that the vehicle was malfunctioning. Pull that other tray out under there. That other container.
Let me close it real quick.
And this is all the coolant that was actually in the vehicle, which is obviously lesser than what it requires. Put that on the bottom of the cart.
This?
Yeah.
I forgot these things had those electric fuel pumps, and so I forgot everything on this car is electric.
All right, I'll do them. I'll take responsibility for this.
This is the cylinder head that came off the Toyota Prius, which is right there. Go ahead and explain what you found here.
So these ones, you can tell that each one of these cylinders were firing. You can see the ashiness.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's all nice and dry. This one looks clean, like it was just cleaned up really nice.
And that's because
It was
coolant was going into that.
yeah, right over here. And when you look at the actual engine, you see that these cylinders almost look like they've all been firing properly, but this one right here is clean and full of coolant.
And how did the coolant get in there because of the gasket possibly
It
failing?
was a bad gasket.
And there's some
There's
coolant.
some in there, and that's why he had misfires and his inverter was chuckling.
Okay.
Was trying to compensate for the misfires.
But again, this is all attributed to the original issue with being the transmission.
A transmission pushing the motor to high idling, causing it to overheat.
Okay. '10 Toyota Prius cylinder head. job. Cylinder head had to be taken to a machine shop and basically rebuilt, reconditioned, and we're in the process of reinstallation of the actual head back into the vehicle.
Pretty.
There's no gasket. We need some tape or some glue.
T-tape.
2010 Toyota Prius cylinder head reinstallation. Go ahead and speak, Mr. Chris.
When you put a cylinder head on a Prius, because it's a very structurally unsound cylinder head, the torque has to be just right or it always has problems. And the biggest thing that people do is they don't mark their bolts, so they end up with torque values that are slightly uneven and it causes problems.
What do you mean by marking?
What I like to do is, if it depending on the angles you're using, if it's a 90, make 3 dots and put a reference point. And you see I have my 2 dots here, that's 90 degrees, and then I make that last little bump, and that's 45 degrees here.
Okay.
This one here.
Yeah, I see.
So you see, we'll move it to this point here, it's 90, and then you move it that last little bit, and that's your 45.
Okay.
And that's it. It's just one of those things on some of these cars that is really brutal that people overlook.